right, we're gonna do another color theory exercise today. We're gonna look at mixing a new set of colors. I wonder if anybody can guess what set of colors we're gonna do today. We've already done primary and secondary. You need these tools out again, just like we've done, and you guys have done this before, so I'm just gonna walk through it pretty quickly. I'm putting a dot inside my rivet of my compass so that I can always line it back up if I accidentally move it. Moving my compass up towards the spiral of my sketchbook so that I know I'm not making my circle too big for my sketch page. And then I'm gonna come in and make 3 rings, just like we've done. You guys are probably already working ahead of me, like so. Then I can go ahead and line up my ruler with that center dot and make that horizontal line, and then of course my intersecting lines with creating an X through that same center dot, trying to make sure my pie slices are about the same size when I've lined it up, like so. And today, I'm gonna kind of close this up, we are going to do tertiary colors. That word you know, but sometimes it's hard to remember unless we've been talking about it for a while. And tertiary colors are made by mixing a primary and a secondary color together. And we are going to do a tint of our tertiary colors. We're going to show the hue, and we're going to create a shade. So go ahead and write that down, and then we're going to go ahead and label our color wheel. And I'm going to start with red orange at the top. Since we're just doing tertiary colors, we're kind of eliminating our primary and secondary for this one. I'm going to do a yellow orange next to the red orange, and then a yellow green. Try to work in an order, and then a blue green, then blue violet or blue purple. I think blue violet sounds more natural to me. People call it both things. And then a red violet. All right, once you have that all done, we can get started painting. And we're gonna go ahead and get busy right in the same video. So to create red orange, we always want to start by mixing the lightest value first. I feel like orange is a lighter value than red. I'm gonna keep my brush clean and not too wet using my paper towel. So I'm gonna get some orange out into my palette, try to get as much pigment as I can out there. So I have a lot to work with. Rinse my brush a little bit and get a little bit of red. Maybe a little bit more. I want a nice deep red orange and paint my hue. It's kind of a rusty pumpkin color. I love it. And then we're gonna go ahead and create the tint, and I just want to get it thinner in a little area because I don't want it to be thin for my shade. So I just added water to kind of a corner of it. And we'll create the tint. And then of course, we'll add black to the other corner and create the shade. This is a pretty brown. I tend to work with a little more water with watercolors, so it's kind of loose. Some people I've noticed are working pretty dry, and that's cool too, and you like a nice, more precise look. That's okay, that's the style. All right, I'm getting my brush nice and clean because I'm gonna do yellow, orange, and yellow green next. So I wanna go ahead and get out yellow in 2 areas. one for yellow orange and one for yellow green. Just like when we were making the secondary colors, I'm going to get that yellow out while my brush is clean in both areas. Try to get as much pigment out there as possible. Then I'm going to add orange to the yellow. Remember, a primary, the yellow, and a secondary, the orange, come together. We'll see how different the red orange and the yellow orange are. That's pretty. And add a little water to a corner of it to make a tint. I think I could add a little bit more water to thin it out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of black to the other area. See how different the yellow-orange shade is from the red-orange. It's more of a green color. That's pretty. All right, clean my brush, get it nice and dry on my paper towel. Then I'm going to put some green over here into this yellow to make my yellow green. Remember, I'm going pretty fast. I feel like this needs more yellow in it. I'll clean off my brush. I got a little green. Make it pretty yellow green. Make my tint of it. Oh, that's pretty. Kind of a lime color. And then go ahead and make my shade of it in another corner. I think it's so interesting how different all these shades are, even though they're all variations of black. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush off and dry it off, and I'm going to go ahead and use one of my 2 paper towels to clean my palette. So that I can mix the other 3 tertiary colors. I'll leave that up here in case I need it. Keep my paper towel here. Make sure my brush is nice and clean. The next thing I need to do is make a blue-green. So I'm going to go ahead and put out some green, which I feel like is the lighter valued. And this is my secondary, right? Put that out there. Clean off. Oh, I spilled my water. Clean off my brush. Keep it dry. Add some blue. Let's see what version of teal I've made. Ooh, that's a pretty color. I love adding blue to green. I think it really makes it a rich color. Now I'm going to add a little water to make my tint. Ooh, that's pretty as well. And then, of course, my shade. This one's going to look a lot different, I think. It's going to be a cooler black, right? Because we've got 2 cooler colors mixed into it. Nice. Okay. Then I'm going to do blue-violet. So I'm going to start with blue out here first. Rinse my brush, dry it off, get some purple into it. Paint the hue. That's a pretty color. Almost looks like when we mixed red and blue together to make purple. Kind of a blue indigo color. And then make my tint of it. And then, of course, my shade. that's pretty. And then finally, I want to do my red violet, so make sure my brush is really clean. My water's pretty dirty right now. You're welcome to switch out your water today as you're working. Go ahead and get lots of red out here. That's my brush. Put lots of purple into it. See how different these two purples are. I love it. And then of course make my tint. And then my shade, and then I am all done. And I can clean up. And we are going to go ahead and submit today. For some reason we don't have time, remember you can always submit at the top of the next class as well. Wow, I love how different this one looks than our secondary color wheel. All right, good job, guys.